And good afternoon, folks. Welcome to bringing guys another video. This time here, this is a continuation from last week's video of dealing with the Pikachu and how to make it actually stronger in Cura. So again, this is how to make it stronger in Cura. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
I'm gonna have to rain down a godly firestorm on you.
Okay. Now, what you're looking at right now is the actual file, and if you look at it, you'll see that it has blocks behind it. All right, now these blocks, as you can see right here, they're basically eraser layers that I'm erasing the preset infills, and I'm changing into an infill that I want. Now, the base infill, if you look at it, the infill pattern is 25%. Now, unlike with most people, my layer thickness, meaning that my line thickness and how many layers I have and everything else, again, I'm using 2.0, line thickness of 4. But you'll notice that my wall thickness is different than most people's that do stuff like this. Again, I make a wall thickness actually thicker than most people, and then my line width is actually thicker than that. So if I do a slice right now, I'm going to slice it for you guys so you can see exactly what this looks like when it's sliced, because it's got to slice it. And you'll see that when you look at the layers, I'm going to show you the layers of how it looks normally, and then you'll see it how it differs. And you'll see there's a big difference between your wall thickness, meaning that you have, it's like a cake. It'll start printing the outside layer, and then of course it'll do the inside layer. Now, how thick that you want the outside basically casing of the layers is each layer. You can have it normally is 2 thicknesses wide. I put 3, and even in that thickness, you can, sorry, how many lines you put in, you can change the thickness of those lines. So you can make the lines really thin, or you can make each line a little bit thicker. And then that's the way I did it, because I'm used to, I've had other prints where, especially I'm making smaller prints where you'll see the leg break or something to that nature. You got to make sure that you have a line thickness that's thick enough that that won't happen easily with that. Okay, let's look at the preview. Now, the checkerboard pattern that you see inside looks like a chess set and everything else. That is the infill. If you can change how thick the infill is, how many lines it has, and everything else. But basically, when you're looking at it, is the outer wall. If you look at the outer wall, you'll see it. There's a red layer, then there's 2 green layers. That shows you how thick the outer wall is. Now, if I change that to 2 and reslice it, you'll see how much thinner that outer layer is, and that's the ability for you to able to crush it with your fingers. The thicker that outer layer is, the harder it is to crush. Now, yes, you have your internal layer as well, the honeycombs, to make it so it's not crushable as well, but it would have to defeat both the outer layer, and then you rely on the inner layer to basically crush it. So you'll see the difference here, and the strength between the two is basically phenomenal. It's still slicing, so give it another second. Now I'm using Chep's thing again, Filament Fridays. If you do any 3D printing and everything else, that you'll see. Now you'll see how much thinner the outer layer is now. Now again, I didn't change my line width. I could have changed that, but I didn't. And you can see how much thinner that is. And again, with 2 layers, it's much easier to break. Much easier to break. Now, again, there's 2 different sets of settings here. Now you can see the layer here, but if you look at the layer for, let's say, the tail, you'll see that the layer for the tail has much more layers, and it has virtually no infill to it. Why? Because again, that's something that will break so easily. So again, I wanted to make sure that I had the maximum amount of layers. So again, you can differentiate between the layers of one part of the model, and then if you use these basically erasers, you can erase what the model says and put in a different set of layers for it. So if I go to Support blocker. Oh, I didn't click on it first. Yeah, duh. Okay. Now, this is showing a completely different layer. You'll see that, again, the wall thickness on one. Oh, I got to turn off my face for a second so you can actually see it. Okay, you'll see the wall thickness on the blocked layers, the sections that I blocked out. Again, you'll see those in gray right here in this section here. Basically, the tail, the where his katanas come out at, where the ears are, those have a different line thickness. Again, I wanted it to be extra tough so it doesn't break as well. Now, notice I didn't do that for the feet. That was a mistake. I should have done the same blocking here. It did it at the feet as well. What that would did is made sure that it wouldn't break. If I had made that change, even taking it off, again, a big hand, trying to be as delicate as I can. If I had changed that layer to wall thickness to 4 with the same wall thickness, that wouldn't have broken off like that. So again, next time if I need to remake this, I know, and I've already have this saved. That's why you see it, the top says 150, because again, I resized it with added supports. Again, that's the black layers, the gray layers that you see right here. So again, that's something that, let me change this back so I won't forget. Oh, it doesn't really matter, don't save it. So again, this is something that if you're making 3D prints, if you're new to 3D printing, everything else like that, these are things that you can do that will show you how to make this. And again, I'm going to show you right now, once this finished rendering, I'm going to show you the change that I'm going to make to the feet, so that way there, this won't happen again. If I ever need to remake this print, or if I need to send this print to someone else and everything else, that you'll see that won't happen again. It'll be set that the thickness will be different. And I'm gonna show you the before and after, so that way there you can actually understand what the thickness. Now you'll notice that how much material I used actually went up. All right, let's go back strictly down to the feet. Let's zoom into the feet area. Again, now I want you to remember the line thickness as it is right now. The line thickness, you have the red, which is the outside, then you have 2 greens, which is the inside layer. What we're going to do right now is fix this so that does not happen again. So we went to Pikachu. Okay, now you just see me click on Pikachu, and you see me click on support blocker. Now I have to click on the blocker itself. Now you see it's giving me a cube. What I need to do now is I got to scale the cube up to cover his feet. So what I'm going to do now is, okay, I forgot to turn off uniform scaling. I'm just going to make it large enough and wide enough so I can include all of his feet. Needs to be a bit wider and a little bit lower. Okay, then we'll move it back into position. Nope, got to scale it up just a bit more. Scale again. You just want to bring it out so it makes sure we cover his feet completely. Here, pull it forward. Now you got to make sure you got to twist it around to make sure that you have the whole thing covered. Okay, that looks about right. I can pull it down just a little bit. So again, let's rescale it just a bit. Now you do want to catch, again, you do want to, I'm gonna zoom in, you do want to catch part of, you know, another section, so when it actually does the building, it'll make it harder for the rip off. And you can see there's a little tiny section where it's not in there. So again, I want to move this just a bit up. Now we have the feet inside there. Okay, now what we're going to do is make sure the feet is in there all the way around. Okay, now we have the feet completely inside there. So again, and I'm saving, what I'm doing right now, I'm saving this for myself, so that way if I need to make another one of these, I know it's already set to go. It will not break and it'll be set. All right, so now we have the eraser 2 inside of here, and now what we need to do is Go to modify overlaps. Now you're going to modify overlaps. Now this menu is going to come up. If you don't see everything that you want inside of the menus, what you'll do is click on where it says select settings. In this case here, we're going with the wall thickness, but you can modify any of the settings, meaning that the infill density, which again, we're going to do the infill density as well. So again, we're going to modify the line count. We're going to change the line count to 4, like the rest of the prints, and we're going to change the infill density from 25 to, I think I have it. Okay, all right, I thought it was 50%, actually it's 65%. So we're going to change the infill density from this one here from 25 to 65%. Okay, now that that's changed, if I click on slice, now remember how it looked before, and you'll see how much difference. And again, when I go from one section to the other, you'll see the big difference in how thicker it is. Going to click on preview, and now you're going to look at the layers. Now again, remember how the layers looked before, and look how much thicker it is. You see how dense the infill is now? Oop, go back to screen. You'll see how much denser the infill is now. You'll see that the lines inside it before, it was only 2. Now it's 3. Oh, it should be 4. No, it is 4. I didn't count, right? 1, 2, 3. No, there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 lines density here. So again, the line density is actually thicker as well. And when I go further up, you'll see the difference when I go to, now you see how much wider it is between here and here. Then if I go back down to the feet now, and you see how much denser the feet is. Again, I did that so it wouldn't break again. Can it still break? Absolutely. If you wrench on it completely, yeah, you still can break it. But now the density is not going to be for removing the infills. Again, you can see the density here versus the density in the main body that's here. You can see that it's, again, almost twice as thick down here now than it was before. Actually, it's a little bit more than that, because again, they use 65%. So again, you can see how much denser it is. So, and I did this again so that the feet will not break. Again, you'll see where the outline is. You'll see where it stops. Let's go back down to here, and you'll see right about here. Make sure we turn it here, and you'll see the density change from down here, and then bam, you'll see the big, again, not as thick. Sorry, it's super thick. Excuse me, I said it backwards. And then you'll see it goes to not as thick. Again, that density change will make it a crap ton harder for you to break and handle. And then this is made out of PETG. That's the easy way to call it. It's made out of PETG, whereas most of my other stuff is made out of PLA. PLA is great for a lot of different models, but if you want something that's going to be in the sun, you're going to sit it in your, you can leave this in your car unless it's under direct sunlight, direct sunlight, unless it's melted. But under most conditions, it's not going to melt. It would have to get up to be so ridiculously hot before something like this will break again. So again, it's much thicker now. It's a better design than it was previously. Again, because you see me break the leg, so now the leg will not be able to be broken. It'll make it that much harder for stuff like that to happen. So again, this is the next thing. Now again, I'm going to show you later on when it's finished done, because again, this is for my son's birthday. You know, again, he loves Pikachu and everything else like that. Again, you can see the difference in layers between, you know, where the density is cut off. Again, you can see this is one set of density, and then this part here is in that box, that gray box, and you can see the density way harder. This makes it so, again, you cannot break this normally. if you hitting with a hammer, well, yeah, okay, something can break, but under normal circumstances and everything else, that it'll be a crap ton harder. And again, you can see by the ears are literally, it's not fully 100%, but it's so close that it's got a little infill in it, so I don't waste material, but I wanted to make it as strong as possible, so if you grab it by the ears, it doesn't just break off right away. So again, you can still see a little bit of the infill inside of there, but the line thickness is so big that it just makes it so, you know, you have a great thing. So again, thank you guys for being here. We appreciate it. So again, this is Warp 103 saying warp out, have fun. We're going to catch you guys on the next one. Okay, bye guys.